Facebook Live. YouTube should be live in a second. And my alert, my 8:30 is going to go off in about a minute. I got to turn the on. Let's get the audio on. All right, audio recorder is on. Make sure everybody's everything live here. All socials live, Jess.
Yes, it is.
Thank you. Nick, you can see the chat room.
Yep.
I think. Okay, you can see it. Can you see
Yeah, I can see the live comments. Is that what you're talking about?
Are you talking about on YouTube? What do you want?
Oh, I'm just looking at the StreamYard stuff.
Oh, you could see. Oh, you can see it on StreamYard. I'm sorry. Okay, that's right. I forgot. You can see the. They changed that. You used to not be able to see it, and I can see it because I'm the host. But
So it's actually pulling in YouTube comments, right?
it's gonna pull on everything. You'll see
it'll pull
Facebook.
on, yeah.
You'll see Periscope that comes in. Yeah, you could probably respond too. I think so as well. I think you could. Can you type into that text?
I'm not logged
I
in.
don't,
It
Oh,
wants
I
yeah,
don't
you
think
to-
you can through that.
you need to go through restream
All right. So
What?
Got it.
to reply on that.
all right, I'm gonna go on live on this bad boy. Everybody, Chad, you ready to go?
Mhm.
Jesse, are you logged in, ready to go?
Sure.
Sure, she says. All right. I'm going to push record. All right. We are recording here. Let's go live. All right. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
You wanna know how to find it. Seek it out when they hide it. You know it's in the bag when it's an easy grab. Come on, take a chance now. So go, geocache. And if you need help, we're right there in a flash. If you got a question, just call in and ask. Uncover the stash on the Geocaching Podcast. The Geocaching Podcast.
Welcome, everyone. It is Wednesday. It is 8:30, which means that it is once again time for the Geocaching Podcast. My name is Scott Burks. We have Shorty Nits manning the phones. And please welcome to my virtual left, my co-host, Jazz 427.
Howdy, y'all. It's time to talk Cashly.
That's right, Chad. Tonight's episode 618 is recorded live on June 3rd, 2020. It is Cashly 6.0 with Nic Hubbard. The phone lines are open, so give us a call, 808-468-7924. That is 808-GOT-SWAG. But Chad, before we begin, first of all, hi, Nick. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
I'm doing okay. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Congratulations on 6.0.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll get to you in a second, fine, sir.
Okay.
We'll do on this ancillary stuff here. But Chad, we got to talk about Patreon here.
Uh-huh.
Costs a lot of money to make this show work. Now that we're doing 2 shows a week because of the Saturday Night Antisocial Club, everything is doubled, and it costs so much to make the show run. We want to appreciate all our patrons. We love you guys. Chad, Cobalt Chieftain, again, upped his Gold Star pledge.
Wow.
Again.
Amazing.
Again, he's amazing. I love that man to death, and I sincerely mean that. Guys, you want to become a patron, or you just want to give a one-time donation for us, you can. You can give us a one-time payment, paypal.me, paypal.me, paypal.me/the Geocaching Podcast, or Chad, you become a patron of the show. You get all the extra goodies, extra audio, extra video, only available to our patron members. Over on the other side of the firewall. All the good stuff's over there. You can become a patron with tiers starting as low as $3. For $5, you get a sticker. For $8, you get a sticker and a path tag. So if you want to help us out, we'd really, really appreciate it. You can go to patreon.com. That's patreon.com/the Geocaching Podcast.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Tonight's show is brought to you by Cashly. Cashly is an advanced geocaching app for iOS. Of course, I'm gonna
He's
mess it
here
up
and you-
when he's here. It features powerful online and offline features, including filtered searches, offline maps, and offline saving of caches. Cashly has hundreds of advanced features that will make your geocaching experience just that much better. Get more info at cashly.com. That's CACHLY.com. You know, I'm. It's like a mental block. Got them here, and I'm just gonna.
Hey, Nick, we could change this after 6.0. I could change it in the wording in this, if you want. If you want to add something.
That's true. We should update it.
Yeah, you send me it in an email. I will
Okay.
absolutely do it. We're also sponsored by Logwork. Logwork is the creators of the fantastic logbook made with genuine write-in-the-rain paper. The logbook designed for the micro-containers of the present and future, geared towards a hider who'd rather go caching than do cache maintenance. Find them at logwork.com, logwerk.com.
It's also brought to you by FTF Geocacher Magazine. FTF Geocacher is the magazine for geocachers written by geocachers. With 6 issues a year, FTF offers practical advice, hints and tips, cacher bios and milestones, geocaching events, trail tales, and all things geo-related. Find them at ftfgeocacher.com. I'm not spelling it out.
And by the Max Suds, and my OCD is gonna be crazy all night. Thanks, Chad. And by the Max Suds Body Company. Max Suds Body Company makes handmade bath and body products from all natural oils and butters. Items such as Poison Be Gone soap, itch spray, and 2-cent choices of bug spray, all great for outdoor enthusiasts like geocachers. At Max Suds Body, we have you covered from head to toe. Find them at maxsudsbody.com, MACSUDSBODY.com.
And by Practical Geocaching. Practical Geocaching sells utility items for geocaching. I can't say geocaching tonight for some reason. Our items are made in the USA, and we always provide free shipping. Find them at practicalgeocaching.com. That's PRACTICAL geocaching.com.
And by Art and Crafted. Art and Crafted creates unique geocaching themed tees and custom designs for you or your geocaching group. With adult sizes ranging from small to 5XL, if you have an idea for a shirt design and cannot find it, then you've come to the right place. Give us a call and give us the opportunity to show you how we can enhance your caching experience with your own custom design. Visit them at artedcrafted.com. That's ARTEDCRAFTED.com. And Chad, the entire month of June, all orders will be put in a drawing, Chad. And on July 1, one of those orders from June will be refunded.
Awesome.
How's that? That
sounds great.
Yeah. There you go.
And finally, buy pattags.com for all your swag and pattag needs. Visit our website to get creative help, to trade or log tags, or to purchase your own personalized pattags with over 39,000 tags to collect. Pattags.com is everything you need to start your pattag obsessions. Visit them at pattags.com. That's PATHTAGS.com.
And Chad, as always, you can find links to our sponsors on our website or
in our show notes.
That
was the most painful,
brutal, dude. What's going on?
Brutal time getting through this in forever.
I'd say it's Chad starstruck, but he doesn't even use Cachly at all.
It's something got a little mental block there in the first one, and then it just my ability to read just went kaput.
No, it's not really any news. I added 2 new shirts to the store, guys. I put a geocaching podcast shirt that's all white, and I put a peace, love, and multicache shirt, Chad. It's adorable.
Oh, nice.
Sign, a heart sign, and a multicache icons for everybody who loves multicaches from the show last week. Peace, love, and multicaches, kids. That's in the store. It's all in white. It's kind of nice. Cool little shirt. I know Jesse's going to look at it right now. I see.
Yep.
I'm going to have to come up with one for Jesse and I for mystery caches.
On it, man. See, look, Ian bought his GCPC shirt. There you go. Someone bought the white one. There you go. We've got some emails here, Chad. So let's. I
got mail. Yeah.
From the show last week, Chad.
Yay.
We got an abundance amount of emails from multi-cacher. Star Cacher writes us, says, you did not mention one of the main reasons that multis are not a hit as often as traditionals. Basic members using the API via phone apps can only see non-premium traditionals and events, and of those, only the ones that are rated 2 or less of both difficulty and terrain. Therefore, basic members using their phone apps cannot search for multis, puzzles, letterboxes, etc. directly. Nick, I'm going to resort to you. Do you agree with this?
Yeah, about the scene traditionals and events, but Cachly and other apps with a new API should be able to see higher than the 2. I think you can get up to 5.5 for difficulty and terrain if you're a basic member. So
really,
it's higher than the old API, yes.
But it still does not show multis. You can't see a multi if you're not a premium member.
You should. I think you can't see them on the map. If you know the GC code, you can actually type that into search, and that will come up if it's not a premium cache. So those are those are a few restrictions for regular users.
Hmm.
So if you have a friend that's a premium user and they say, "Hey, here's a couple GC codes," you can type those into the search in Cachly, and you should be able to find those.
What about
Yeah.
in the regular app? Do you know if that works in the regular app as well? Or just
Well, in the regular app, you can see all cache types on the map, but they're grayed out. And then you tap on them and it says like upgrade to premium. So I don't know beyond that what they show. They probably show some really, really basic info for each of those other cache types.
you can hard code the multi into Cachly if you're not a premium. Still hunt that premium.
Yeah, typing the GC code. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. That's nice to know. I'm totally lost now. Here we go. Okay, they can, however, view, print, or create a single cache GPX file for all but the premium caches on the geocaching.com site, and get those non-traditional or higher rated caches with that extra work. Basic members don't see the premium caches via any method. I doubt many of the basic members would go through that extra work to find multis. Since Nick is the next guest, can you confirm with him about the API restrictions? There you go. I didn't even know that was happening. So, am I
There you
right?
go.
Right?
Yep.
Didn't we get called out about this on puzzles last time when we did the show on puzzles?
What do you mean?
That with the non-premium members can't do puzzles.
Yes. Well, they also like Shane. I can't, and premiums too. Like Shane can't do a premium. I have to cheat if I do a premium with Shane and to log him as on the cache. I have to do that too. We got an email from Nandi here. I want to drop you a note about multis after listening to the show on my way to work. I'm a bit ambivalent about them, mostly because of the reputation. Known black holes where they take forever to do. I usually don't do them because I am usually looking for a quicker find. Aren't we all? A while back, like early to mid-September 2015, I was working at the Washington National Cathedral's gift shop in D.C. Because I didn't want to pay peak fare for the metro, I'd find ways to kill an hour or two. Sometimes I'd go geocaching. Because of my activity at that time in and around the cathedral, I got contacted by someone in New Zealand about a multi they wanted to do. Apparently, they needed someone in the U.S., second stage of the multi, and someone in the Netherlands, third stage, to be able to find the final back in New Zealand. The cache is called NZ Around the World, a 3-continent cache. Okay, Chad looked this up. GC, I know he does as well. GC5, P as in Paul, G as in George, 6, V as in Victor. It was a little surreal, but I gave it a go. Actually, it took me 2 tries because the DC one was right outside the New Zealand embassy, right by where the cars would go in and out of the property. The first attempt, I wasn't quite brave enough to do the climbing stuff. Anyway, it was a fun adventure that I fondly remember. Excuse me. Chad, you looking that one up? Does it still exist?
I'm looking that up. Looks like this one has the New Zealand part. Did they have a specific? I guess they would have had a DC, a one with the DC GC code as well, right?
I have no idea. I don't know.
But it's not listed in here. Maybe it's a little different than the type that
GC5
I've worked on.
G6 Victor. That's.
Yeah, I mean, it's saying New Zealand around the world, a 3-continent.
Okay. I see.
Cache.
Oh, so there's probably a New York one you're saying as well. That's got its. I don't know. Okay. Jersey Eric writes this, Chad. Your recent episode 617 on multis was very useful to me. I recently hit a multi with 7 virtual stages, Chad. 7 virtual stages. I recently hit a multi with 7 virtual stages in February of this year. It's called Interconnected GC8K H9K. Even after it was successfully published, I was not absolutely confident that it should be a multi, but rather a puzzle. But this episode, especially Shortenitz's reading of the multi definition, made me 100% confident that my hide was indeed a multi. And I echo the sentiment heard on your episode. Since my 7 stages are virtual, it doesn't have the same risk as a multi with physical containers at each stage, where a container may be missing and ruin a cacher's attempt to do the multi in completion. Since each of my 7 virtual stages has a multi-choice question, I am proud that the waypoint for each stage has its question repeated in the waypoint description. That's in addition to having all 7 questions in the cache description. I just had to double check that each question is repeated correctly. Keep up the podcasting, Jersey Eric. Thank you, Eric. 7 stages virtually, chat.
And I got to checksum.
What? And it's got to checksum?
It's got to checksum for your
Okay.
solution.
Hey, well done. That's all the emails we got, Chad. So let's move on right to the show. Nick
Awesome.
Hubbard. Hello, sir. We should all
Hello, I'm here.
bowing down to Nick. Well done,
No.
sir. 6.0. Well, congratulations on it. Well done, sir. We tinkered
Thank you.
last weekend. Worked very, very well.
Good. Good. Like to hear that.
How you doing with it? Are you getting positive responses from it?
Yeah, it's been very positive so far. I've been very happy with the responses. Put out questions on our Facebook group to see how people are liking it, and overall, it was very positive. So
That's great.
happy with that, and a couple new 5-star reviews rolling into the App Store, which is what we always appreciate. So yeah, it's been a success.
Nice. That's great. And so you put this out last week or 2 weeks ago? How long ago was it?
Yeah, it was almost
I
2
think
weeks
it was
ago.
2
I
weeks.
think.
Yeah, it was 2
Yeah.
weeks. Correct. Have you put out a 0.1 yet? I
Yes.
set that stuff to go automatically. So
6.0.1, so it's just a bug fix release.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Something got past you, Nick. I'm shocked.
Yeah. There's bugs are just horrible. There's probably 100 bugs that I won't tell you guys about.
Hey guys, you want to call and ask Nick a question? You can 808-468-7924 808 got swag, and you could talk to Nick directly here. But so Nick, we just want to go through some of the features. I don't know what you want to hit on or whatnot. I could go through this line here, or you can talk about whatever you want to talk about, whatever you want to do.
You're in charge, so take it away.
All right. I'm gonna hit the high points. First up, you got the trackable scanner.
Yes.
Let's start with that.
Okay. So this is a feature that one of my beta testers talked to me about when we were at a mega event up in Seattle area together, and he was telling me, look at all these cars. I use TB scan to scan all these cars, and then I can log them all. So I was like, that's cool. And then the more I thought about it,
You're like, I could do that in a week.
the more I wanted to
Cool.
not make a competitor app, but keep people in Cashly and not have to flip to another app just for ease of use and time savings. So it was actually a bigger job than I had expected. But after lots and lots of testing with all my beta testers, it works pretty well. So you can, scan them on cars. You can hold a coin in front of it. You can, hold a coin that has curved letters on it. So far it's worked pretty well. So, and when you scan a trackable, it has a couple options that will pop up. You can view the trackable right then in the app. You can create a log right then, or you can just quickly save a Discover log to pending logs in Cashly. So we actually tested a piece of paper with like 12 different trackables on it, and we could see how fast we could scan those. So that was kind of our test, was speed. We really wanted to scan them really, really quickly to just pretend like we were at a mega event or something like that, and somebody wanted to visit or discover a bunch of trackables. So
Well, it's just nice that you don't have to get out of Cashly to do it. You could literally, you usually got it open anyway on your phone. So you see a coin right there in the ammo can or something like that. You can
yeah,
move along.
yeah, that was the goal, to make it just a little more ease of use.
Yeah. Okay. No, I told you offline. I have not tried the scanning part. I've used 6.0. I haven't tried the scanning. We haven't found one to do, so I can't.
They're rare.
We didn't come across one yet. I will though. State restoration. Let's talk about that one.
Yeah, so this is the feature that myself and my beta tester said was the biggest feature that users would never notice.
Oh,
So-
I definitely noticed.
Well, if you hadn't ever heard about it and you were a new Cashly user, you would have no idea. So yeah, previously before this, people might have noticed that if you flip to something like the camera app in iOS and then return to Cashly, sometimes or often on certain phones, Cashly would be killed by the background process in iOS because it wanted more memory. So now with state restoration, almost every screen in the entire app has been rebuilt to basically save the state information of what it was doing. So if you type something in search and you were scrolled down halfway in a list and you've left Cashly and iOS kills it, you return, you're going to see exactly what you were in before.
Oh, it's so
Thank you.
So
I take a lot of pictures when
previously
we're
it
caching.
would just restart you back to the live tab, and
Yeah, that
so yeah, so it's helped a lot of people, and I think people will just
Definitely.
forget that it's even working.
Yeah, definitely. I take a ton of pictures when we're out caching to the point that Scott gets a little annoyed with me. And every time I'd be like, dang it. And then what would happen is I would have my filter on that would only show caches that Scott and I both have not found. And so in the meantime, since I went out of the app, Scott has already logged it. So then when I come back in, it doesn't show up on my map. And then I'm like, oh. So this will save a lot of frustration.
Good. I'm glad.
So somebody asked in the chat room, what's the limit of trackables to scan?
There's no limit. You should be able to scan and save as many as you want. I mean, there could be the upper limit of submitting them to the API is like 60 per minute, but I don't think anybody is going to sit there and send 60 logs in a minute.
Oh,
So, but you could save as many as you want to, depending
like,
on
like nobody can do.
So that's why the websites it sits there and it's like about once a second, boom, 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 boom. You see it ticking down. It's like, why is this thing so damn slow?
Right, that's why.
could be.
So state restoration, very nice feature on that. Tough to do.
Yeah, it was probably the biggest feature in the whole thing because, like I said, every screen had to be touched and tested again, and then my beta tester would find problems with them, and then I had to fix them. But
Jesse, do you know if your bug was fixed? Did you look and see?
Which one was my bug?
You always used to drive you crazy. I think you talked to Nick last time about it too.
oh no,
When switching out your copy paste, when flipping between copy paste,
It must have been fixed because I don't
you don't even notice anymore.
remember like getting annoyed about it, so it must be fine.
I don't even remember that
Have you
question.
switched it? Have you changed it lately?
Yeah,
Usually we change it when we go to Omega. We
that
haven't
was
gone
a
to
couple
Omega
of
this
years
year.
ago though that happened.
No, I think we were talking last year to Nick about it. And
Oh, are you talking about log defaults?
Yeah, I don't
when
remember
you
exactly what
switch
happened
between them.
when you
like,
switched
which-
between filters or
Shoot,
between.
The app will crash when you switch between the filters.
Oh no, I don't think that should be happening anymore.
I haven't had that problem for a while, so I'm sure it's fine.
Okay, good deal.
I'll let you know if it's.
Any other things you come up with, bro? Jesse, you're an avid user.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Any other issues?
Let's
that
keep
we've had?
going.
Okay.
We've been caching once since this came out, so
I know, horrible. Cache logs. View your friends' logs. I love this. I love this so much.
yes.
Although you might want to tell people the trick to it because there is a little caveat to it, isn't there? Like you have to
Yeah.
prove it.
So the friends logs feature and just the friends in general in Cachly require that those friends have authorized geocaching.com to show them to API partners. So if you go to geocaching.com and log in and then go to settings, and then there's an authorization section and there's a little checkbox that you will want to do. And that will allow these features to work. So without those, you might be missing some friends. For example, I had a user email me. They said, I have 80 friends on geocaching.com, but I only see 11 in Cachly. So I gave them instructions on how to do it. And I do mention it in Cachly. There's a pop-up that mentions it, but some people miss that. But once you do that, you can view your friend's log. So if you go to a cache that's a popular one, that a couple of your friends have been to, you can just tap on the little icon of the user and choose to view your friend's logs, and then you can be helped out by maybe their comments that they put 5 years ago or something. So that's a helpful one. And then you can also view your own logs for a geocache. So
There's my friend's logs right there on one of the caches.
yeah.
So because Jesse had this when Jesse was an Android user. She used it. What'd you use, Jess?
I use
CGO.
CGO.
Geo, and she just swiped twice and she could see the friends, and I could
Yeah.
never do it. I'm like, oh,
Yeah. So that's been in CGO for forever, and it's
For
also
years,
one of the most requested features. But again, CGO is using a different method to get those in a way that's not authorized. So I couldn't have done that before they updated the API for partners.
Yeah, well done, because it was. I was very happy when I saw that. I was like, oh, thank you, Nick. Thank you, Nick.
Along the same lines,
Yeah,
as
it's a
far
cool
as
feature. I appreciate HQ adding it.
Yeah, it's great. And along the same lines, I do have a question, and I can't remember exactly what it said, but I have seen logs where instead of the person's username being there, it would say something else like unknown user or private
opted out.
user, opted out. Yeah. So what does that mean?
That's another privacy setting in geocaching.com, and they put it in there probably for legal reasons, and there's some users that don't want anybody to read their logs except for if you went on geocaching.com. So they don't want partner apps or anybody seeing their logs for whatever reason, and they don't even want people to know their username. So if you've seen that, that means somebody's really probably worried about privacy and they don't want people to see their stuff for
So
whatever reason.
it would be like an additional layer of security on top of just, I don't want my friends to see me. This means I don't want anybody to see me.
Yes, and it's in that same authorizations dialogue on geocaching.com.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think it just has to do with, GDPR in Europe and things like that are cracking down on privacy. So,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay. The map type quick switcher. Quickly change maps. Long press on the map layers button to quickly show recently used maps and map layer options.
Yeah, have any of you guys use that?
I have
It's
not.
actually nice and quick. So before you had to tap on the map layers button and it would bring up the new screen, and then depending on which maps you used, you might have to scroll up and down to flick back and forth. So I have users that like to use our offline maps, even if they're online, and then flip back to like satellite view. And to do that the old way, it took a little time. But now if you just do long press, you get your 3 last maps, and then you can just flick between them really, really quick.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Chad, what do
That's
you use, Chad?
I use CGO because I'm Android, but
Right.
that right there is a nice feature to have, I would think, for someone using Cachly.
Yeah, that is nice. I will definitely use that.
Yeah. There you go. Used it last week. Pretty handy to switch between street and satellite.
There you go. And this is definitely one of the features that my beta testers thought of. I can't claim that I thought of it. It was a suggestion, and it was a good suggestion. So we added it to 6.0.
Personally, I'm switching between Google Street Maps, Google Sat, and an offline map. Usually, I'm offline map. Occasionally, I'll go online if I don't see some details, and then if I'm at the cache, I'll flip to satellite.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I'll flip to satellite if you look like you're going to possibly get close, but you're not sure. And so you want to see if there are fences in the way, is walls in the way, that kind of thing. So what route do you go to get to the cache?
Yeah.
Chad, do you ever use GeoGo, by the way?
I've used GeoGo. I've been frustrated by it when I've tried to use it.
Oh no.
So I'll play with when they come out. Sometimes I'll play with them for a little bit, but so far I've been ending up going back to CGO because of Android. I have played with Cachly on other friends' phones and stuff, and I like it. So
Okay.
That's good to hear.
I'm gonna bring in Hot here. I've got Australia calling in.
Go
So I
ahead.
know who that is. That's our friend C. Michelle. Hello. Hello. I can't hear you. Hello.
I had my microphone down, Scott. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Hello,
that.
Craig. How are you?
Oh, there we go. Hello, Scott, Shotty Net Stars. And Nick, g'day to you too, mate.
Hey, how are you?
Man. Busy
Nick.
days.
Nick, we got Australia calling it right now.
That's awesome.
Yeah. What can we do for you, Craig?
Mate, just a quick shout out to Nick, mate, just saying that you've done a fantastic job on this app. And I'm telling you, the only thing I get sick of and sick and tired of is all the Android users saying, when's it going to be for Android? I'm like, bad luck. Get an Apple iPhone. Like, they don't realize, I don't think, Nick, that you are one guy and you are iOS only. You're one dude that does all of this work. They don't realize that. So, but yeah, good work, mate. And I'm promoted quite often on my YouTube channel and every other place that I can. But I tend to find that I use it especially for beginners, basically saying that use the GC app first and then use Cachly as an advanced app for geocaching.
Yeah.
That's what I do mostly. So, but yeah, so thanks, Nick. So just calling in to say good day and thank you from all the way across the other side of the world, mate.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Good talk to you,
Not a
Greg.
problem.
Good talk to you, buddy.
There you go.
We'll talk to you.
Bye.
Bye. Do you agree with that, Nick? Do you think it's more advanced than the geocaching?
Yeah. I think it works well that way. You know, I can only provide so much basic usage. Like we talked about, there's API restrictions and there's less restrictions in the official app. So, you know, if people get into geocaching on the official app and they enjoy it and then they decide to be a premium user and jump onto Cachly, I think that's a good route. I agree that if you just came to geocaching and you jumped right on Cachly, it would be more difficult because there are those restrictions, and you can only view a couple caches a day. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, sure. Okay. Moving along, query OpenStreetMap APIs.
Yeah, so this is an advanced feature that maybe not everybody would be interested in, but so Cachly uses OpenStreetMaps for all of our offline map data, and there's a way to search and query all that data. So you could say, I want to find all the waterfalls that are in my state of Washington, something like that, and it would just query that. So it's kind of like a places or different information database. So my beta testers and I thought it would be a good idea to add this functionality in there. So you can actually just search using their kind of query language for different things. And it's helpful for if you're geocaching or if you're on a trip and you want to go find fast food restaurants or something like that. So really it's just kind of an advanced, almost hidden feature that's kind of a quirky, cool thing. So it's fun to play with, but it might not have a huge place in helping you find a bunch of new caches or something.
Right.
Yeah.
What, did you would drop pins? They were not draggable before 6.0.
They were draggable in 4.0, which sounds strange. But so when Cachly went to 5.0, I added Google Maps again, and I added offline maps, and that made a total of 3 different map frameworks that I use, which made it really difficult to have dragging because I had to do it 3 times, program it 3 different ways, and it just wasn't ready. So I took it away at that point when 5.0 came out, and it didn't make it back in until 6.0.
Because I remember it.
Yeah.
And, but then I did it years ago, and then Jesse, I was just hiding a bunch of caches, and Jesse's like, "Oh, just drop a pin, and then you can get the." And she actually had to show me how to do it. I didn't know how to do it. I never dropped a pin before.
You get the cords when you
drop
them down?
And you can get the cords for it. Yeah. So
yeah.
But she's the expert. She's way better at cache. I just cache. Like she uses it way beyond what I use it for, Jesse. So she always gets really excited when the new ones come out to see what's the list and stuff like this. All stuff.
Good.
So you got. I want to get to those really quickly. I want to get to the questions that I know we're stopping here, but like we got Gary of the GBs sent an email to us about he says he said, hey, can you ask Nick these questions? And I said, sure, absolutely. So I'm asking Nick the questions just for you, Nick. In the settings, there are 3 different settings that I have turned on, but in how I understand the settings, they don't work. So the way he thinks they work, the way he's interpreting it, it's not working the way he's thinking they're working. So let's go through them here.
Okay.
1, prevent map rotation. My understanding is that if this is turned on, when I rotate my iPad clockwise or counterclockwise, the screen image stays fixed. This is not what happens. Well, even I know this because I'm a map turner. So what that means to Gary, what that means is that if you have it on, you can actually pinch and turn the map. Because I'm a map turner because I like to drive north all the time. And I know you could double click it to put north, but I just turn the map. I'm one of those people. So that means you could turn the map with your 2 fingers. And if it's off, you cannot. It has nothing to do with this, correct, Nick? If I'm understanding.
So he's thinking screen rotation versus map rotation.
Sure.
Yes.
And
right.
Yeah, let me just say it's off by default. So you can always twist the map by default.
Right.
And when you turn on the option, it will lock it so you cannot. And that was just added because there was users that say, I'm annoyed, I'm trying to zoom in and it's, I'm twisting the map and just trying to give people more features.
Okay.
So.
So that being said, is there a way for him to do this and not to have it stop?
Yeah, so there's two settings. There's the normal iOS screen lock, which usually you pull down from the top of your device and you lock your screen.
Correct.
Or in Cachly, there's settings and you can lock your device in like landscape if you choose. So there is some rotation lock settings in Cachly as well.
Okay.
So, because in iOS, there's no way to lock like landscape if a user's choosing to do that, but you can do that in Cachly.
Fair enough. Number 2, prevent map tilt. Has no effect whatsoever, he says.
So that's another one. I think all 3 of the mapping types that I have, you can skew the map by using 2 fingers and sliding them up. In offline maps, you can actually see like 3D buildings and 3D cities and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the same way with like Apple, if you do the Apple flyover maps, you can see 3D, forests and buildings and houses and stuff. And that's by putting your 2 fingers and sliding up and skewing the map. So that is what it's talking about. And that does work. So I think he might just be mistaken about, at least in my testing, it works.
No, it doesn't work. Sorry. I have it on.
Okay.
Prevent map tilt.
No, you
toggled on.
Yeah, if you have it on, you won't be able to tilt.
Correct, but I did. I'm on the hybrid flyover,
Live
and I'm
bug right now.
Wait, I just did it. I'm not kidding. You made a liar out of me, but I promise it just did it.
But now it's not doing it. Maybe.
Wait.
What? Wait.
So you should be able to, by default, you can skew the map like that. And then when you turn it on, it will turn it off. It will not allow you to do that.
Jesse is disagreeing.
There you go.
Okay.
What setting do you have on?
It is toggled on.
Okay.
You can't read my screen, but it is toggled prevent map. So here's a bug I just discovered for you. So what happened was I changed my map to an offline map.
Okay.
Okay, it doesn't toggle. And then I change it back to my hybrid flyover. And now it doesn't. Oh, what the heck? That's weird. So it randomly does sometimes and doesn't sometimes.
Yeah, so it sounds like there is a bug there. It's just how it's reproduced. So this gentleman must have been reproducing it in that same way, and I wasn't. So
Oh,
it totally sounds like a bug, and that's usually how annoying bugs work. They're hard to find, and you have to figure out how the user is actually reproducing them.
Did you do it again, Jess?
Yeah, I just did it again. So I think it has to do with when you first switch into the map.
Okay.
And then if I go into the settings and go back to the map, then it doesn't do it.
Got it. Okay, I'll check that out. Thank you. Happy to fix bugs.
3, fit to map. My understanding is that both my current location and the destination both are visible on the screen.
Fit to map doesn't have anything to do with your current location. It is just fitting the loaded caches. So if you load a bunch of caches, it'll zoom the map out and keep all those caches on the map. So
Nick, I think I might have asked you this last year, but I'm going to ask you this again.
yeah.
I always loved on the old retired, the legacy geocaching.com app that as you got closer to the cache, the screen got bigger. Like the screen,
It zooms in, yeah.
Yours doesn't do it, and the new one doesn't do it.
I've had that feature request from you and from others. So
Right? You've heard from me. Come on, Nick, please.
actually, I have a bunch of code in Cachly for that. It's just commented out.
I have to drive and zoom in as I'm driving while I'm driving. Like I drive.
Okay.
Like
I'll try to get it added to 6.1.
come on, Nick. I will never ask for anything. That's it. Other than that, perfect app. I'm not like perfect. That's the only thing it's still missing from. Sorry, we continue. Turning on or off. Okay, fit the map. My understanding is that both my current location and the destination are both visible on the screen. Is that correct?
No.
That
No,
sounded like he was saying the lists.
Yeah, it's just when you load new caches, it will fit all the caches on the map. So even if you're in Washington State like I am and you zoom over to Minnesota or something like that and load caches there, it will just keep all of those Minnesota caches on the map. Have nothing to do with your current location. It does not.
Yes, he
it
says
doesn't
turning it
separate
on or off changes nothing. Okay, so
Yeah.
so his understanding is wrong, basically. That's what. Now, don't you have a if I remember correctly, you have on the app a whole like a wiki, isn't there? Like right there.
Yeah.
right?
On the More tab, you can go to Help, and there's
Help,
quite
yeah.
a
Yes.
resource there of different things, as well as the Facebook group and my support email. Yeah.
In the lower left corner of the bottom icon that looks like an arrowhead cycles through viewing modes. That's his words. The mode I prefer is the one where the arrowhead is orientated to the 12 o'clock position. My problem is that given any excuse, Cashley switches to it for no apparent reason. My question for Nick is can and how do I set that as the default mode?
Yeah, so it's in the bottom right corner, but that's the current location button. So there's 3 modes. There's not following. If you tap it one time, it will follow your location.
Yes.
If you tap it again, it will follow your location and take your heading into account. So you can rotate your body and it will rotate the map. And those are essentially locked until you move the map. So you can double tap and it will zoom in and stay in the locked mode. But currently there's no way to lock it and then like move your finger around the map and still keep it locked. So it kind of pops out of the locked follow mode when you touch the map or interact with it in that way. So it is a requested feature that people want to kind of lock it.
You can't lock it. You can't default lock it in.
No, not currently. No.
Okay. No. Yeah.
So-
I always like 12 o'clock. I always like my cache.
That's north up, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
which Gary is definitely a north up guy.
Yeah.
See, I like my cache always in front of me. I always like, so if I turn, that's what I'm saying. I'm a twister because like I'll twist the map and I'll, if I have to take a right, I'll twist the map. I guess I could double tap, but I'm just used to going, let's give the map.
Sure.
Text templates. I have several and use them all in different situations. I don't know if this is new to version 6, but without my input, one of my templates has been labeled as default and is automatically applied so that it is now the starting point on every log. If I do the long press to bring up my text templates and select one that is copied on the end of the default, which is a disaster. I've tried everything to get rid of this default without success. I can change the default to a different template, but that is just as bad. How do I get rid of the default designation on all of my templates?
So the default happens when you tap on a text template. There should be some helper text on the bottom of the text templates screen that says how to set a default. But basically when you have, say, 5 text templates there, you just tap one and that would set it as the default. You'd have a little check mark next to it.
Mm-hmm.
And that would indicate that it's the default one. Just tap it again, it will take that checkbox away, and then you wouldn't have a default. So I think that's what he's talking about. So basically just tap that one that has the check mark and it would remove all your defaults.
Okay. Okay. And then I'm running caching on the new. Oh, he says I'm running caching on the newest version of both iOS and caching on the newest version of the iPad Mini. That's it. Those are the only questions he had.
Okay.
That's it. Well done, sir.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
We can take a call though. We have got Iowa calling in. Hello,
Oh,
Iowa. Oh wait, hold on.
So before
hold on, Scorpio.
before Iowa gets in there, I just want to say Gary specifically bought this iPad Mini for Cashley.
Very cool. Thank you, Gary.
Okay, sorry. All right, go ahead. Iowa, Scorpio, hello.
Good. How you guys doing?
Doing well, thank you.
I got a couple questions for Nick.
Okay.
First, is there a way to get the elevation on a pin or a GZ on the map?
You can get the elevation of your current location. So if you tap your current location, it will say elevation. But getting it at like an arbitrary location or a cache isn't something that we support yet, because there would have to be a huge database of locations for the whole world. And it's something I have considered. So not currently, but maybe in the future.
So that's just using barometric pressure.
No, it's using for your current location is using satellite data to calculate your elevation.
Okay.
But if we say you wanted to find GCD, what the elevation is at, we would have to have a database with a coordinate lookup and some sort of world elevation database.
No, they got that for the U.S., but not the world.
Currently, I use like a third-party app to find the elevation of where I'm at.
Yeah,
right?
as do I. Yeah. Yes, I do too.
Yeah. Okay. So that would be down the road or never, right?
Yes.
Okay. The second thing is the first to find on the maps. You know, it shows before a cache is found. It has a little FTF on it, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I have never. I know. I mean, I like to go for first to finds, but I get a notification. But if I go to another area, either I'm just terribly unlucky, or I never see something that I can go for first to find. That's just a comment. Third thing is
I've seen it all the time. I've seen the FTF little flag.
I know you're luckier than me.
Yeah, I've seen it.
The third thing is my biggest frustration is with the phone a friend. You're out there, you're using Cachly, you're looking for a cache, and then it's like you can't find it, and so you got to call somebody. So then you got to go, or text somebody, and you got to go over to the regular app and send a message, and then you got to go back and gosh, I just wish that we could get messages in Cachly.
Yeah, that HQ won't let us do that because of privacy issues, but there is a feature in Cachly that has integration with your iOS contacts list. If you add in the iOS contacts, if you add the user's like GC username into the nickname field, it will show in your friends list if you have them as a friend. So if you do those two things, that will activate a call and a text option next to that friend and on their profile page.
Okay,
do it right from
I'm in Cachly right now. Where do I go for this?
Everybody's in Cachly right now. Look.
So first thing, they have to be a friend of yours, so they have to be in your friends list. And then if you actually have their real phone number, to call or text them in your phone, you can go to that in your phone and then add their GC username in the nickname field.
Really?
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nick, you got to tell people about this stuff, man.
That's actually an old feature, maybe
Yeah.
4.0 or something.
Nobody knows about it.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I really appreciate this. Thank you so much.
No problem.
All right. Thanks, Scorpio. Talk to you soon. Be good. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Good job. Look at you, Nick, helping people out like that. Well done.
I'm trying.
We have got Ohio calling in. Ohio, guess who it is, kids? Everybody's here. On a boat. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm good. So, I just wanted to call in because you don't get to talk to famous people all the time, So, so Nick, first of all, nice job on the new release. I actually haven't been using Cachly that long. I just switched over to my iPhone, I don't know, 5 months ago, and it was like one of the first apps I downloaded. So I've been super impressed with it so far, and I appreciate all the work you do with it because it makes caching so much easier. So,
Thank you.
Thank you for all that. But so I did have a question for you because I hide a lot. I had a lot of caches. So these guys mentioned the drop in the pin thing, and I can actually drop a pin, save it to an offline list, and see the radius and stuff. And so it's the coolest thing I've ever used for hiding caches. But aside from turning on a filter to filter out all inactive caches, is there a way to hide my own unpublished caches? Is that a thing? Just unpublished? Or
So you're talking about on the live tab where you can see unpublished caches of your own.
Yes, but they're gray now at least, which is fantastic. That at least helps.
Yeah.
But is there a way to just get rid of those entirely?
You could use the not hidden by filter, I think. I'm trying to think how it would actually work.
I could do that, but so I have a park that I'm working on, hypothetically, right? And I have some that have already been published and some that are unpublished, right? And I want to
You didn't want to hide them all.
Wiggle in waypoints around the ones that are already there. So
Got it. Let's see here.
Ooh, you're making Nick think.
Have you tried the active and exclude active options?
yeah, so that's the best thing that I've found so far. But I ended up doing that, and there was actually a disabled cache in that same park that also got filtered out.
Got it.
So I ended up like trying to submit a cache too close to a disabled cache. So, but I don't know.
Okay. Well, I will have to test this because I have a published cache by my house. So I'll have to see if I can replicate your situation and see if I can fix it if it's possible.
Yeah, well, it'd be cool. But no, I seriously probably I shouldn't say probably. It's the best app that I've used, and you do a great job. And all the features that you named off today, and we get a lot of feature requests from that. The fact that you actually add that stuff is incredibly cool. So.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, one of the thank you, Ian. We'll talk soon, buddy.
All right, buddy. Appreciate it.
Bye. So yeah, one of the he was talking about the offline maps because when I was placing, I recently did a series in a forest reserve, and I did that exact thing. Is I was using the radius and dropping the pins to find out. Amazing. Jesse taught me. I didn't know that existed. Jesse had to show it to me. And I was like, oh, I could do that. She's like, yeah, dude, just do this. And then I'm okay, yeah. So it's a great thing for hiding cache. If you're hiding, more than one in an area, it's
creating a custom cache.
Yeah, and then using the radius so you can find where the next one is.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Yeah. So you have miscellaneous here. You have so much stuff here.
Miscellaneous, yeah.
Is there anything else you want to hit on? We have 10 minutes here. Anything else you want to hit on that you think people would want to? Or maybe even hidden gems you think people don't know about.
Okay, so yeah, two things. So for accessibility reasons, I added a couple new options so that some maps are easier to see with for people that can't see really, really small text or that might have their iPhone text size bumped up higher. So in premium offline maps, my offline maps, if you actually have your iOS text size larger or bold, that is now represented on the maps. So previously it would just be like a default set size of text for streets and cities and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But now it will look at iOS and accommodate those larger sizes. So you can do the slider and you can see how Cachly will react to those different text sizes. So it's just an accessibility thing, and it's been asked before, and I think people appreciate, easier use of those maps.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then second, go ahead.
So I know I've personally had problems with some offline maps using CGO where the text is just like pinched too small, and even you zoom in and then the text just shrinks again. It's like so friggin' frustrating.
Yeah, that's happened with all the iPhones being like the high-res Retina displays. Some of the tile-based maps, like OpenStreetMaps, became really, really small in those devices. And even for me, like the street names were just very small. So now there's a new setting to zoom those 2 times. So if you're using a tile-based map, like OpenStreetMap or even the custom map tile option that Cachly has, other people in other countries can enter in their mapping systems and things like that for their countries. You can use that and have it much more zoomed in. It's much more readable for users. And that was actually a feature suggestion after 6.0 came out, and I added it to 6.0.1 because there was a user that just couldn't see the small tiles. So it's a big help. So.
I'm going to have to play with it on my phone then to see if I change the resolution on my phone and see if it actually impacts that.
It could, yeah. So those were the 2 that I wanted to point out because I think those were great improvements for accessibility. Like you said, there's a lot of miscellaneous. There's a lot of extra options that I added for like the live search if you're on the live tab. A lot of new sorting options. There's a new feature that will highlight the row that you have turned on. So if you go to live search options, say you have a bunch of options on.
Mm.
Previously, people would be like, why am I not seeing caches? And then they would realize, oh, they were only showing traditional caches that were higher than like a difficulty of 3. And they hadn't realized that those filters were turned on because they did it a long time ago. Now, each filter that has been turned on, that is highlighted there so people can visually see, oh, I have three filters turned on and I need to either turn those off or modify them. So it's just another visual way of helping users out, because I often had that question.
You know, I don't know if I ever texted you or sent you an email or not, but last year when I had you on the show, I said, would you please make a modal pop for when you want to refresh the filters? Because all the time I would automatically hit the wrong button and it would reset my filters. And it drove me crazy because I didn't want to. I hit the button by accident. And so I said to you last year, hey, how about a modal pop-up saying, are you sure you want to do this? And you were like, oh, yeah, it's not a bad idea. And I, you pretended to write it down. And then, like, a year later, it was there. Remember, Jesse? I was like, oh, my God,
Yeah.
Nick did my idea. I'm like, I got to send him an email and thank him. It's like, oh, my God, there's a modal pop-up. Thank you, Nick.
I really did write it down, and then I added it maybe that night. I don't know.
Oh, man, it drove me crazy. I did it all the time.
Right,
I
because
would
it's
reset my filter.
because the reset is right where the back normally is, and I actually have that suggestion that to have the option instead of always having to hit the back button to maybe just make it swipe so that you can go back to your previous screen, because I'm a thumb user like this, and I can't quite reach that.
You can't swipe. iOS, that's like a default on iOS. If you do your thumb from the corner of the screen, you should be able to swipe back. If you're navigated a bunch of screens in, you can always swipe back.
So if I'm in logs, for example, and I want to go back to the main thing,
Well, you can't swipe back to a different tab. But for example, if you were on the More tab and then you went to Settings and then you went to another option in Settings, you can always swipe from the corner of your screen.
right. But I mean like in a cache. So if I'm reading through the logs and I want to go back to the main cache page, I have to hit the arrow in the corner. And it would be a nice feature just to be able to swipe to go back.
You should still be able to, like if you're in the logs, you can pull from the side of your screen and it will. Do you see that?
Yeah, mine's not doing that.
all current versions of iOS should do that, and you can.
Mine does it.
you
What do
can
you want,
navigate
Nick?
right
Where are
back.
you? Let's
All
see.
right.
Okay, so wait, hold on. So here I am.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this right here. This is my friends. Oh yeah, mine does it. Yeah, just
Yeah, that's a kind of a default iOS thing. It should work in any app that uses navigation.
Yeah, mine's do. Oh yeah, mine totally swipes back. Holy mackerel!
But you have to get your thumb far enough over on the side of the screen.
My thumb's not long enough.
Well, not
Nick, I never knew it did that.
yeah.
I never. Oh man.
All right, I'll have to play around with that. Okay.
I never knew that did that.
I do have a question
That's
too
why
while
that's why I jest, because
my thumb's not long enough.
If you're using one of the large phones, like
Yes.
the Maxes, I think you might have the problem.
have
is
a
you
Pro.
can't reach that far. Yeah.
Okay, so it's a user error, user problem.
No, not necessarily.
Yeah.
It's just Apple made two large devices.
No, they didn't. They're still too small.
Craig,
Mi-
Craig says
mi-
his does
mine's
it.
mine's a 6.7-inch screen.
and you
It's
can
pretty
do it?
big.
Oh my gosh.
No, mine does do it. I never knew it did that. Wow.
All right, I'm gonna have to figure that out. I do have a question too. So you added last go round. You added the great story and the helpful in the logs. Have you heard anything about those going like site wide, or is that still exclusive to Cachly right now? And it's regional too, isn't it?
So I think it has been released to all API partners. I'm pretty sure that GeoGo has it as well. I think Cachly was the first partner to test it. It's not regional on the app, so you can use it anywhere in the world. I think Canada and Norway were like the test ones on the website,
Right.
but you can use it in any country on Cachly and it will show up.
Right.
But as far as feedback from HQ, I think it's still an experimental feature in their mind, and I haven't heard much feedback on it. No.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
I like that feature.
Yeah, it adds a little bit of more of like a social media feel.
What was it, Jess? What's the feature?
the help on the logs where you could say that something is a great story or
Oh,
helpful,
yes.
and then you can sort by those
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
So
Saved-
Ian's asking for saved
Saved
filters.
Yeah, it's a cool feature.
Ian, Nick, saved filters.
Saved filters. They are saved. So online is he talking about offline lists or online lists
No,
or online?
he just
search?
said saved filters. He needs it.
So yeah,
wonder
so
if you
if you're
want-
doing
So
a
I could
live
save-
tab, you
I
can
could
save
multiple,
those.
No, so he says so I could save multiple different features. Multiple different features.
No, I get that. I could see where that would be useful because if I go out caching with Scott, for example, I go in and I set all my filters to only show caches that neither of us have found, and I want to show certain things. But then if I go with someone else, I might want to save part of that filter, but I'm okay to show. You know what I mean? And so to have be able to save everything and name that filter as something and then be able to choose that. Am I right, Ian? Is that what you're getting at? I could see that being very
Yeah.
useful.
So currently the just one setting is saved. You can
Right.
yeah. I understand what you're saying. So offline list does that where you can save filter templates and you can apply those to other ones. So essentially live filtering could use that feature.
So basically, you want it so it's like the text templates. You want filter templates like text templates.
Yeah, show me my filters that I use when I cache with Scott. Show me
go.
the filters
Write
that
that
I
down.
use when I cache with, whatever. What?
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I will write it down.
He's adding it to the list, Jess.
I will type it down.
Yeah, Ian says the same thing. I want a quick toggle between my wife filter and my shaved Ewok filter. I agreed. I think that would be useful.
I'm just gonna leave that sitting right there. Somebody do. There you go. Live filters, guys, coming soon. 6.5.
Don't make promises for Nick.
live saved filters.
Live save filters. So Nick, anything you could tell us coming?
Yeah, I promised the proximity alert feature for quite some time. That will beep or buzz. Some people hate it. Some people really want it.
You're a hater of it, aren't you,
I'm
Scott?
a hater of it. I hate it. Yeah.
Well, it'll be off by default, but it'll have interaction with your Apple Watch and things like that, and be very customizable for distance and things. So some users have really wanted that for quite some time. So that will be in 6.1.
I like it for trails and stuff like that because I'll be walking with someone. I'm talking.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting about geocaching. Is like, hang on.
Yeah.
The cache is about 200 feet
It would
behind
be
us.
nice if I had to walk if we had to walk half a mile to a cache, then it's good. I can put my phone away and I don't sit there and burn battery. That'd be kind of, especially if it was on my watch, then my watch could just buzz my wrist. That'd be kind of that would really be the only time I would use it. Would be a long hike. Other than that, it would drive me nuts.
Sure. That's why you turn it on or off.
Right. Anything else?
Let me look at my list here.
Anything future big coming in the future?
Big future stuff.
Big.
iOS dark mode. Gonna add that at some point.
Nice. There you go, Nick. See, that's what we're talking about. Dark mode.
So those are the two
How
elements.
meta of you. Look at you. You're on the ball. You're working.
There's a big list. There's a big, huge list of features, and just have to come up with priority of when to add them.
Although dark mode I don't know if I'd use because at nighttime I usually just use the phone and I just turn it around and that's my flashlight. Cache is my flashlight usually.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'd use. I don't think I'd use the dark mode. Early don't. Yeah. Wow. Well done, sir. I like that. All right. Well, guys, there you go. There's Nick. Nick, thank you so much for being on the show, sir. We appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Yep.
Appreciate
I love your app. I always have. I was professing my love for your app way before you were ever a sponsor of this show. I've been pushing your app. I love it so much. You saved me from the horrors of the geocaching.com app. So we appreciate that. And Nick, you're always welcome on the show. Thank you for coming on for 6.0. But I know I rushed you on it once it came out. I started hounding you, and I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
We will talk to you soon. Thank you for being a sponsor as well. Thank you so much for being a sponsor of the show. We appreciate that. Just me when I say Chad usually doesn't muck up your your intro. He usually does.
I messed up everyone's intro today. I mean, it was like, holy cow, what the hell's happening?
If you want to have a lot of fun, Nick, send me a new intro so he would totally screw it up all the time. We get in such the rhythm of saying these things week after week after week. So if you want to update that, feel free to.
I only screw that up at least 2 weeks. You know, then I'll get into.
So if you want to add anything to this from 6.0 in that, feel free to do that. I have no problem with that. Jesse, thank you so much.
Okay.
Chad, thank you so much. All you callers, thank you so much. Everybody in the chat room, guys, with the great questions. Thank you so much for Nick. Next week, Chad.
Mm-hmm.
Next week we have got next week's show is
On a boat.
No, we have the June Cash or Coffee next week. It's coming next week.
Oh, I thought,
We have
okay.
June Cash or Coffee, kids. It's Cash or Coffee for June coming next week. So thank you everybody for tuning in, and we will talk to you guys next week. Let's close the show. Please join us again every Wednesday night at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central as we stream live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, on our website, geocachingpodcast.com. The archived video versions of our podcasts are available on our website or on our YouTube channel, and the audio versions are available on your favorite podcatcher. If you like the show, please head on over to Apple Podcasts and rate, review, and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it, and it really helps the show when you do. If you prefer to watch the show, make sure you click the subscribe or get notified buttons to know exactly when we go live. And hey, if you haven't already, please consider becoming a patron of our show. With tiers starting as low as $3, you will get a ton of additional information, extra video, extra audio, only available to our patron members. Please head on over to patreon.com today and subscribe. That's patreon.com/the Geocaching Podcast. Thanks once again to our sponsors, Cachly, Logwork, FTF Geocacher Magazine, the Max Suds Body Company, Practical Geocaching, Arted Crafted, and PathTags.com. Please visit our sponsors, and when you make a purchase, you tell them the GCPC sent you. That's all we got this week, so we'll see you next week. Talking geocaching, taking your phone calls. In the meantime, be good, be safe, hug your loved ones, and we will talk to you guys next week. All right, we are clear. There we go. Audio is clear.
Awesome.
All right, guys, thank you so much, everybody in the chat room. We will talk to you guys on Saturday night for the Antisocial Club. So everybody have a good rest of the week, and we will talk to you guys on Saturday.